Namo Doi Swadhay 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 Omkara Mindu Sayyam Jayanti Yogina Kamadam Mokshano Jay Omkara Namo Manganam Bhagavani Manganam Gokunu Manganam Kunkundari Ujendra Mosumanganam Namasunari Swanu Bhutya Jaka Titi Swadhay Bhavaya Vibhav Yusani Data
Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Ariyantanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Vajjayanam. Om Namo Loe Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Om Kanam Sanyuktam Nityam Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Seva Om Karaya Namo Namah. Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimir Andanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayavantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayavantavarto Jinana Samosarana Sau Jayavantavarto Netirthachara Jagama Jayavantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarotene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho upakara jinavarano kundano dhvani divyano jina kunda dhvani apya aho te guru kanano aho te bhagavati matano dhruva achalane anupama gati pamela sarve siddhane vandikamo kevali pasita asamaya prabhrata are Ekasuddha sada arupi jnana darshanamay khare kai anyate marujari paramanu matra nathi are jamanetrate maj jnana nathi karak nathi vedak are jai jakarmodaya nirjara bandate maj mokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Shri Siddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. We had a gap for 2 weeks, and so here we are. Today is June 1st, 2016, Wednesday, and we are continuing our discussion on Samaysar. And here we have finished up to 8 stanzas, and we are proceeding to 9th stanza. 9 and 10, both the stanzas, we are going to take it together because they belong to each other. Remember, in the 7th stanza, if you remember very well, we had said that knowledge, conduct, state attribute, all 3 things are to be said in a divisional form. They are called conventional point of view because they are indivisible pattern in the soul. We are talking 7th stanza right now, not 9th and 10th. We are just coming to the 9th and 10th, but we have to have some basis that what is this 9th stanza telling us. So 7th stanza told us that even if we just give the divisional aspect of the attributes, infinite attributes in the soul, they are in the indivisible pattern. And when I try to explain, or omniscient Lord wants to explain, he cannot explain indivisibility in words. So only the way omniscient Lord or the enlightened monks can explain to us in the divisional form. But remember, there was one important word we had used there, that the explanation is in the divisional form, The medium of explanation is divisional form, that this is the knowledge, this is the conduct, this is the faith attribute, but the intent is for one to understand in the indivisible pattern. Medium of motion from the, medium of explanation from the omniscient Lord is a divisional way.
I know, I didn't know that.
I think there's some noise coming, so maybe I'll put some mute here. Okay, all right. So, sorry. So, the medium of explanation is a division. Omniscient Lord had experienced the indivisibility of the soul substance. Now he tries to impart knowledge to us. And so he has to make it divisional. That this is the knowledge, this is the faith, this is the conduct attribute, all those things in the divisional form he explains. The student like us, we understand in divisional aspect, but then ultimately the idea from omniscient Lord and the enlightened monks, their main idea is for us to know in the indivisible pattern. Indivisibility experience here, indivisibility to be experienced by the student. The medium remains only the divisional aspect. And that divisional aspect we told them as a conventional point of view. Indivisibility is an absolute point of view. So, it was explained in 7th stanza. In 8th stanza, it said, that because we are the barbarian person in the sense, I have never experienced this nature of the soul. So only the way learned person can explain to me in the divisional pattern. So now here we come in 9th and 10th stanza. I need to bring the slides. Now I have to bring the 9th and 10th stanza, and it says, what is this divisional aspect that we are talking about? Let's bring the slides first and then talk about it. Screen share. Screen share. Noise coming from somebody's place. If you put the mute, that would be good. Okay, so we come up to the stanza 9 and 10. Remember, in Samaysar, every stanza has a relationship to the next one. There is nothing that it comes out of nowhere. So it just flows. So 7th stanza to 8th stanza to 9 and 10 stanza.
I'm sorry, Kirit. Forgive me. Can everybody please mute their feeds? There's a tremendous amount of background noise. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Okay, so here we have the 9th and 10th stanza. We'll sing that one and then we'll start talking about it. Okay, hold it.
Hello, Kirit bhai. Just 1 second. Can everybody please mute their Kathy and there is an iPhone. These two are not muted. Can you guys please mute your phones, please?
Okay.
Mine's muted.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we'll sing the stanza and see how it goes. Sorry. Jo hi sudena hi gacchadi appanam tu kevalam suddham tam sudha kevali misino vananti loyappadi vayara jo sudananam savam janadi sudha kevalim tamahu jina ranam appa savvajam ha sudha kevali tamma jumam. सुतथी खरे जे शुद्ध केवल जानो आत्मने लोक प्रदीप करा ऋषि सुत केवली तेने कहे सुत ज्ञान सौ जाने जीणो सुत केवली तेने कहे सौ ज्ञान आत्मा होइने सुत केवली तेथी ठरे. Very, very great. It's a really great stanza, and it just now tells us what is the experiencing of the soul and how can it be described. So those things come. This is the Amrit Chandracharya's Tika in a Sanskrit. This is the Gujarati in explanation and further explanation in the stanza. Now, so heading of the stanza, what does this stanza is going to talk to us? What is this stanza going to teach us and explain to us? So it says, student is raising a question. We are the student, and the learned student is raising the question here. What's the question? Learned student says, how come the conventional point of view elucidate absolute point of view? Remember, in the seventh stanza, we use conventional point of view. This is the sort of knowledge attribute. This is the conduct attribute. This is the faith attribute. So we made the divisional on the indivisibility, and that is called conventional point of view. In eighth stanza, we say that because we are ignorant soul, so it has to be explained to us in the conventional point of view only. So now, student says, how come you are telling me that conventional point of view makes sense for the absolute point of view? Because in the previous stanza, it was said that conventional point of view shows absolute point of view. Because we are the ignorant person and we are barbarian person, we have no knowledge of the absolute point of view, and that's why the Acharya Bhagavan, the omniscient Lord and enlightened teachers, they are telling us from the conventional point of view. For example, if the child, small child, has never seen a lion, so you are telling the child that, listen, this lion has 4 legs and has a skin with a different kind of yellowish color skin, and has a one tail and everything. And at that time, a cat is passing by, and a person will tell the child that, listen, look at this cat. The lion looks like this. Lion is not this. This is the cat, but lion looks like cat. So now, next day, the child and the person, they both go to the zoo. And the child sees the real lion, says, oh, this is the real lion which looks like cat. So he was being explained about the lion through the medium of cat. So conventional point of view showed the absolute point of view. So that was the 8th stanza. So a student says that you told us that conventional point of view shows absolute point of view, but on one hand, it has been said that conventional point of view needs to be discarded. And on the other hand, it says conventional point of view elucidate absolute point of view. So now I'm getting confused. You keep on telling from the first stanza onward that conventional point of view needs to be discarded, to be discarded, to be discarded. Then why you keep on hanging on that one? Why you keep on taking the help of this conventional point of view? So Acharya Bhagavan says, I'm going to give you these 2 9th and 10th stanza. These 2 stanza will give the answer for the question that you have it. Actually, this 9 and 10 stanza, hopefully we can finish today because they are kind of easier to go because we have done 6th and 7th and 8th stanza in great detail. So lots of things will flow very easily for us to understanding purpose point of view. Okay, so but before we go to the stanza, there are certain definitions we have to go through it. Certain difficult words are coming in the stanza. So we'll just elucidate some of the definitions and get familiarized with the definitions. This word called Dravya Shrut. Dravya Shrut means a type of scriptural knowledge or the Jinwani or the Holy Scripture. The physical scripture, this is the Samaysar scripture in front of me. So it is called Dravya Shrut or it's called Jinwani. Dravya Shrut is a scriptural knowledge or the scriptural book. That's a Dravya Shrut. Now there is also a word called Bhav Shrut. Bhav Shrut is a scriptural knowledge along with the experiencing of the nature of the eternal self is known as Bhav Shrut. Remember, first thing, I knew nothing about any scripture or any philosophy at all. So the scripture, the books, my teachers and everybody, they explained to me. So that was a Dravya Shrut. The medium of explanation or my reading the scripture, my reading the holy books and everything, that is a Dravya Shrut. Once I understood what is the exact nature of the soul substance, because remember, we are not concerned for anything else. Ultimately, I need to know soul substance, and also in the soul substance, I need to just see how can I put my faith on the eternal, indivisible soul substance. So the books are telling me all those details. The lectures tells me all the detail. The enlightened saints, they teach us all those things. I have the doubts and we ask questions and he explains to us. All those things are called Dravya Shrut. And after knowing the Dravya Shrut, after having the scriptural knowledge go within me, now I do the practical application of that knowledge. All this knowledge, what was it telling you ultimately? It just says you need to bring your faith to the eternal soul substance, and that will give you some right faith. That will give you some Samyagdarshan. That will give you enlightenment. So I read everything, Dravya Shrut. Now I put into my action, into the understanding, that is called Bhav Shrut. Means I experience now the real nature of the soul. That's Bhav Shrut. So the second definition. Then third one is Shrut Kevali. Shrut word is already there in the Dravya Shrut, and Bhav Shrut means knowledge. Shrut Kevali means Dravya Shrut becomes instrumental cause. Remember, I read this Samaysar book right now. We all are reading this book right now. We have digested that book. And on the basis of the book, whatever knowledge I got it, now I go to the practical application of it and go into the eternal soul substance, and I bring my faith to the eternal soul substance. When I do that, that means Dravya Shrut becomes instrumental cause. Then Bhav Shrut means experiencing of the soul, experience of the soul occurs, and that experience is of the indivisible nature of the eternal true self from all the angles. So in short, Dravya Shrut means reading the scriptures, and Shrut Kevali means after reading, after digesting, now putting application and experiencing the soul substance. That called Shrut Kevali. Shrut Kevali means experiencing the soul substance. When the scripture became instrumental cause, I understood everything Now I paid my attention to the eternal soul substance, and that's called Shrut Kevali. Remember, this definition will come in this further discussion, so we have to have pretty good idea.
Shrut Kevali નું ગુજરાતી જરા કહેશો?
Shrut Kevali એ ગુજરાતી. એટલે કે આત્માની અનુભૂતિ થવી એનું નામ Shrut Kevali. Yeah, these are two words now. Shrut Kevali means, listen, I'm on the first spiritual development stage. Now I experience my eternal soul substance, means I bring my faith to the soul substance, and as a result, I obtain enlightenment, I obtain Samyak Darshan, I obtain right faith, I obtain Atma Darshan. All those things that is happening, that is called Shrut Kevali.
Okay.
Now, on the other side, the real word Kevali will come in the omniscient Lord. Omniscient Lord, when he's on a 13th Gunsthana, then he's called Kevali Bhagwan. He's called Omniscient Lord. And from 4th Gunsthana all the way up to 12th Gunsthana, that person is called Shrut Kevali. Means he experiences the soul, but he has the Shrut scriptural knowledge. Omniscient knowledge is the ultimate knowledge. On the first spiritual development stage, I had the wrong knowledge. I had the perverted knowledge. What is the wrong knowledge and perverted knowledge? Because my true nature is inside, and I try to look for the, I try to study the whole world. I study whole world, but then I don't know who am I. That's why I'm in the ignorant state. On the 4th spiritual development stage, now I experience myself. That's why 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and up to 12th Gunsthana, that person is called Shrut Kevali, because he is experiencing of the soul and he has the knowledge of the soul. That's why it's called Shrut Kevali. Does it make sense? So, once again, knowledge on the first spiritual development stage, in which I don't have experience of the soul, that is called wrong knowledge. When I experience my soul on a 4th Gunsthana, 4th spiritual development stage, then go to 4th to 5th to 6th, 7th, and then I keep on going up, and I go up to 12th spiritual development stage. All those phases from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage is called Shrut Kevali, because he has experiencing of the soul substance, and he knows the reality right now. He knows what's a real thing.
What's the difference between Shrut Kevali and Samyak Darshan? I'm sorry, Samyak Gyan.
Samyak Darshan and Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan, Shrut Kevali.
Not Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gyan or Shrut Kevali. What's the difference between those two things?
The same thing. Remember, Samyak Darshan and Samyak Gyan are basically given the name from the what attribute you want to give the importance to. If you are giving importance to the knowledge attribute, then it's called Samyak Gyan. If you want to give the importance to the faith attributes, then it's called Samyak Darshan. Samyak Gyan, Samyak Darshan, they both go together. So, whether you call them Samyak Gyan, whether you call Samyak Darshan, or whether you call Shrut Kevali, it's the same meaning, same words.
Okay,
all right. So that's a Shrut Kevali. Remember, Dravya Shrut is a scriptural knowledge, Bhav Shrut is experiencing, and Shrut Kevali is a one who had experienced his own soul. In short, that way we can take that way. Once again, Shrut Kevali means full knowledge of the scripture along with self-realization. There is also another definition given, basically full knowledge of scripture along with self-realization. Now, as we proceed further, this 4th bullet will just say,
Kirit uncle?
yes.
Okay, I'm sorry I'm pulling you back here, but
No problem.
I'm rereading what these bullet points are.
Mm-hmm.
So I see the difference between Dravya Shrut and Bhav Shrut. But when you jump from Bhav Shrut to Shrut Kevali, there's an experiencing of the soul in both of them.
So basically, Bhavsrut means the phenomenon of experiencing occurring in that phase. That's called
Okay.
Bhavsrut. But the person who is experiencing, he's called Srutakevali.
So Bhavshrut is the actual activity and Shrutkavi is the person
Person who has that.
who has experienced that activity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, fine. I got you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So the other one, it says full knowledge of scripture along with self-realization. And we won't touch this one because later on this definition will come. It will prove why this fourth bullet came here, okay? All right. So let's hang on to that one because it will come next, a few slides down the road. Now, omniscient saint means the person who has omniscience, means the Kevali Bhagwan, means the omniscient Lord, means the person who is in 13th spiritual development stage. And in that regard, we can just say 1 to 24 Tirthankaras from Rishabhdev to Mahavir Swami, they are part of the omniscient saints and they are the illuminator of the whole cosmos, because omniscient Lord, remember that mirror we are taking, the omniscient Lord's mode, knowledge mode is like a mirror. The whole universe is illuminating in that knowledge mode. So that means omniscient Lord is the illuminator of the whole cosmos, because in his mode, whole cosmic space is getting illuminated. All the 6 universal substances get illuminated in that knowledge mode. That type of omniscient Lord who has seen everything, who has perceived everything, he says, he gives the steps now. First, one studies the scripture, means Dravyasrut. I study the scripture and I understand the real nature of the eternal soul substance. I just understood that one. I have not experienced, but I just understood. So I studied this. So omniscient Lord says, first a person studies the scripture and he knows the nature of the eternal soul substance right now. He knows what is the soul looks like, what is the eternity, what is a substance, what are attributes, what are modes, what are indivisibility of the attribute. All those things he understands by reading and studying the scriptures. Then, now knowing all the things, his path is clear. He knows what is the best for him, what is to be, what path to go, what path to avoid and everything. So he brings attention to the eternal soul substance with his knowledge mode. So first he understood, then he brought the attention to the eternal soul substance. And as a result, he ends up knowing and experiencing the indivisible soul substance. These are the pathway that omniscient Lord has laid out for us, that he says, this is what it is happening. Now this person who has experienced the eternal soul substance means remember, faith attribute has only 2 possible modes. One, faith attribute could be directed to outside material world, and other thing is faith attribute could be directed to the eternal soul substance. Only 2 ways it can be there. Faith attribute could be only 2 ways. It could be either directed to the outside world, material world, or it is directed to the eternal soul substance. And when I put my faith attribute to the eternal soul substance, that means I have the experience of the soul substance. That means I have the Samyak Darshan. That means I have Samyak Gnan. That means I have omniscience, enlightenment or self-experience and all those things. That state of experience, that person who had experienced the eternal soul substance, now he is known as absolute scriptural omniscience. Remember, Sutta Kevali, we just said, Sutta Kevali means one who has experience. So when he's experiencing the eternal soul substance, he is called, from absolute point of view, he's a scriptural omniscient. So again, see, it's a play of words over here. Nishchay Sutta Kevali means absolute scriptural omniscient, means one who has experience of the soul. Means one who is on a 4th to 12th spiritual development state. So he is called absolute scriptural omniscient. Now, who said this one? Omniscient Lord has said this one. So one reads the scripture, understands the scripture, brings the attention to the soul substance, and that means he is absolute scriptural omniscient. Now, this is a little, we are taking a sidetrack over here. Gurudev Sri just in his pravachan said that the word apadesh comes. For the scripture, the word is used called apadesh. And in the scripture, it says that one who knows the eternal true nature of the self, which is non-bonded, non-touch, then he experiences the soul. Now, we through this word, because Gurudev Sri talked about in one of the pravachan, and abaddaspasta, and that is going to be 13 and 14, 12, 14, 15 stanza, it will come. So because he mentioned, that's why I threw the slide over here, what it means, that one who has understood the scripture, and when he experiences a soul, that is what happens next. That's what it tries to say. Only the Gurudev through the word non-bonded, non-touch nature of the eternal soul substance. Means soul substance is never bonded with any karma, is never touched by any material object. It's pure as a gold, pure is a pure is a pure. That's what he tries to explain to us here. Now, what he said, first thing we went to the scripture, and then we went to the eternal soul substance experiences. Same thing happens when one directly experiences the unity of triple gem. Means, I read the scripture, from the scripture I understood the nature of the soul, and then I experienced the nature of the soul with the unity of triple gems. What is that unity of triple gems? Right knowledge, right faith, right conduct, not in 3 different ways, but all 3 in an indivisible pattern. And that is called unity of triple gem. Ratnatray, Samyak Darshan, Samyak Gnan, Samyak Charitrani, unity, Ekrupta, means unity of right faith, right knowledge, and right conduct. That is called triple gem, and that is called Bhavsrut Gnan. What's a Bhavsrut Gnan? We just saw it before that what is a Dravya Srut and Bhavsrut? This is the same thing from other angle. When I'm experiencing my eternal soul substance in the indivisible pattern, that is called Bhavsrut Gnan. These words are going to get repeated again and again in the next chapters and the chapter thereafter. So it will be important for us to get familiarized with these words. Yes, it appears to be brand new words and everything, but ultimately there's a play of words. Meanings are same. Bhavsrut Gnan means experiencing my eternal soul substance. Samyak Darshan means experiencing my eternal soul substance. Self-realization, experiencing my eternal soul substance. So all unity of triple gems, experience substance. Yes.
એટલે ભાવશ્રુત અને ભાવશ્રુત જ્ઞાન
both are same.
both are same.
Both are same. Basically, it is a mode. It is my mode, my paryay, which has directed attention to the eternal soul substance, and that's called Bhavsrut Gnan. Dravyasrut Gnan means I have the knowledge of the scriptures. I have the knowledge of the scripture. That's called Dravyasrut Gnan. Bhavsrut Gnan means now that from the knowledge of the scripture, I put those things into the experiencing phase in the practicality of that knowledge, and by putting into the eternal soul substance, and that is called Bhavasudna. So we have the new word came, and we understood that now, right now also. Now, the person now who has understood, this person means the one who is experiencing the soul substance, one who had experienced the soul substance by directing his attention to the eternal soul substance. Then he said that Kunkun Swami says that this person has understood the whole entire Jain doctrines. Wait a second, how can it be? There are Dvadashangi, means that 12 canons are there. 12 canons of scriptures are there. In each scripture, there is the simile is given in the literature. There, I forgot the exact number of the sloks and everything in Acharang Sutra, but the simile is given that if you take the weight of an elephant and you take that much ink and you start writing, that will be one canon only. Second canon is double the weight of the elephant, that much ink you need to write down the second set of scripture, and so on and so forth. So huge things, super huge things. And here Kunkun Swami says, when you experience your eternal soul substance, now you knew whole Jain doctrines. Why? Because if you analyze all those 12 canons with a huge amount of scriptures, what's the bottom line comes out to be? It says, take your attention away from the alien object, bring your attention to the soul. That's all it will, that's a central theme there. And here, that's what I did. I experienced myself. So Kunkun Sai says, you already understood all the Jain doctrines. So that's what it says. So now I have to say, what is the base for me? Is it better to experience myself? So that's why I understand the whole Jain doctrine, or I should go and read all those scriptures and become master of it and then experience the soul. It says that an ignorant person can go up to the knowledge of 11 canons and 9 chapters of the 12th one, in which there are 14 sub-chapters are there. So 11 canons and in 9 chapters of the 12th one, ignorant soul can know it, still he may not get the Samyak Darshan. And over here it says, when you understand, when you experience your soul substance, means you already studied all the 12 huge canons of the scriptures. So this is what it is, that do I need to know all these things, or can I go directly to go and experience my own soul substance? And it says, there is no need to know all these things. But if your faith in your enlightened monks, enlightened teachers, and whatever he asks you, you follow that one, not blindly. You have to ask questions and everything.
Kirit uncle.
Yes.
Okay, so since you said this, I believe you. This weekend I heard Sahibji say something, and you know, forgive me, this is a paraphrasing, so I'm sure it's not perfect and it's not exact. But he had commented, he had spoken with a couple of folks, and he specifically mentioned, you know, Gurudev Kanji Swami. And he had spoken with 2 people who, you know, who consider Gurudev their Gurudev, Kanji Swami. And the question he asked, or rather the opinions he got from these 2 people were the following. The first person said that if you had Jinvani and you had Gurudev, and there was some difference in what each source was saying. So saying that Jinvani was saying A and Gurudev's interpretation was B, then you stuck with A. And then the second person, also a follower of Gurudev Gandhi Swami, and also this is all from Sahibji who said this. Okay. The second person was asked the same question. If Jinvani says A and Gurudev said B, who do you follow or what do you follow? And the second person who was asked had said, well, you follow B. Because he's Gurudev and he's Nani, fifth Gunsai. Now, what you just said makes sense. That, if you've experienced, if you've had Atmanubhav, then you are a walking, Shastra.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, do you have any comments on what he said, or on this particular?
Well, basically, remember, a central theme is me right now. I want to experience my eternal soul substance. I want to experience my indivisible nature of the soul substance. How can I get that one? Now, if I'm the person who really has a faith on my teacher, and teacher also is without any the teacher selflessly explains everything, whatever the place the student is stuck, he works on the student and tries to take him out from that sticking position. Then for him whatever Guru said is a true thing. For the other person, his intellect is very sharp, and he can digest the scripture. Then scriptures are there, but huge scriptures are there. And we have to be very, very careful not to get stuck somewhere. For example, if you just say, I want to understand Jain doctrine, and this is a shortcut, I would like to take that. Okay, take it. But then, how will you take it? First, you have to see the Dravya Srut, means first you have to read the scriptures, and then you listen to you have the doubts, you go to your teacher, and he clears your doubt, and now your doubts are clear, your principles are absolutely clear, and now you take a jump and get into the self-experiencing phase. So it could be true from either angle, because remember, when we go to the 11th stanza, next time when we go to 11th stanza, that will give you Vyavarna and Nishchayani, and those are the things will clarify lots and lots of doubts. That what is the role of Guru in my life and everything, and what's the role of the scripture in my life? Omniscient Lord, holy teachers, and scriptures, they all play a part in my my psyche and my development of the spirituality. So there is nothing like absolutely one thing is true for me and absolutely other thing is true or wrong for other thing. Nothing like that. You need to get whatever is the best. I grab it. That's it. Now there is a way of speaking and presentation, everything, and you have to understand what does that person means to say all these things. So if I know the absolute point of view and conventional point of view properly, then I can make my own judgment that from what angle that person is coming from, and I have to have that basis ready within me. I think it's a roundabout answer or whatever, but then this is what I believe, that there is no one set of things. You have to grab whatever places you get the best thing, you just get it. And right now, if we are talking Samaysar, which has given absolutely tons and tons and tons of information, there is a maze of things passing through, and it just shows the straight line. How can I go to the eternal soul substance experiencing phase? So if I stuck to that, I'm better off. Now, if I get kind of a wavering in between, then there is a Guru is there to explain to me that no, don't get out from that way, don't go this way, keep going straight way. So both the things are important. Scriptures are important and the enlightened monks are important.
Okay.
All right. So how do I understand the whole Jain doctrines? Oh, yeah. Gurudev Kanji Swami, when he keeps on giving this kind of lectures in the past, and he's giving so much detail and everything, and some people did not understand, and they went to Gurudev and said, Gurudev, see, this is too complicated to us, we don't understand. Can you have kind of a cliff note, very shortcut? Can you give us this whole religion in a couple of sentences? And he said, yes, I'll give you. What he said? Swamavas, Parthikas, Etlu Kartobas. Stay within your eternity, stay within your eternal soul substance. Get out of the alien objects association. That's it. That's a whole religion. And once you follow that one, that's your fourth bullet. That means you understood the whole Jain doctrines. I just had to, from every place, wherever there is a situation in which I end up doing rag and dvesh, I just have to get out of that one. That's all is a simple message there, you know. So, having said that, we can just go to next slide. Essence of Jain scripture. Remember, Dravya Srut. Essence of Jain scripture, Dravya Srut, is to obtain dispassionate state. Scriptures are huge numbers. They are divided into 4 types of scripture: the storytelling scripture, conduct related scripture, the karma related scripture, and metaphysics. Yeah, all 4 types of scriptures are there: Pratmanuyog, Charananuyog, Karnanuyog, Dravyanuyog. All this Dravya Srut, all these scriptures, the central theme for all the scripture is to have us obtain dispassionate state, vitragta. Chare anuyogonu taptarya vitragta che. All 4 expositions, the central theme is to obtain dispassionate state. That's all it is. Ultimately, it just makes it so narrow pathway that I want to have dispassionate state. I want to get out of this inclination of attachment and aversion state. So all the scripture will take me from all different angles to the same narrow path. Now, experiencing the unity of the triple gem, which is Bhausud Gnan, is the dispassionate mode of the soul. Remember, over here, the scriptures are telling me what is a dispassionate state. When I understand those state, when I understand the scripture, and then I do the practicality and go in my experiencing phase, that means that's a dispassionate mode of the soul. Here it shows, here it is, I obtained that one. Oh, sorry. So Bhausrut Gnan is a Vitragi Paryay. Bhausrut Gnan means experiencing of the triple gem is my dispassionate mode. That's what I would like to have it. So in short over here, scriptures are there. I understand the scripture. I learn the scripture. I know who I am. What's my true nature. And now I do the practicality and bring my attention to the eternal soul substance. That's a dispassionate. Yes.
Bhausrut Gnan is Atmanubhav.
Yes.
But that's not necessarily Vitragta, is it?
Vitragi Paryay means.
But is it the Vitrag Paryay, or is it just that the rag is gone, or it's like suppressed?
Vitrag means no rag.
Right, so it's not no rag, right? It's just less rag.
Yes. So remember, when, and I understand where your question is coming from. There is a Vairagi Paryay or Vitragi Paryay, because you are telling me, you are thinking that Vitragi Paryay has to be 13 Gunstana or 12 Gunstana.
Sanjalan, right, no Sanjalan.
Why it is mentioned over here? Because Vitragi Paryay means dispassionate mode. At that time, I'm experiencing the soul substance. I'm experiencing soul substance. And that experience that experience is exactly same as what Siddha Bhagwan and Aryan Bhagwan has it. And that's why in that particular, let's say the 10 modes we are taking, up to 1, 2, 3, 4 mode is a wrong, a wrong knowledge mode. And fifth mode is my right faith mode. And at that time, in this fifth mode, whatever experience of the soul substance I get it, it's the same experience Siddha Bhagwan also has it. Then you can just say, what's the difference between Samyakdarshi Jeev and Siddha Bhagwan then? If the experience is same.
Okay.
Literature says, if you give the sugar cube to a blind man, and you give the sugar cube to the person with the 2 eyes, they both will experience the sweetness of the sugar. Only the difference is one is not able to see the sugar, other is able to see the sugar, but experience is same. Experience, so fourth Gunsthana, experiencing of the true nature of the self, that is same as what Aryan Bhagwan and Siddha Bhagwan has it. And that's why it's called Vitragi Parya. Right?
Okay.
Okay. And we will go through this one in detail when we do the Gunsthanak somewhere along the line. We need to do that one. And we will have better understanding for this one. What is the difference between blind man and a person with both the eyes? And those are the things we'll be talking sometimes, you know. Okay. I'm glad you are with the subject. You know, you are thinking really ahead, and that's really, really great. I'm so proud of you, you know.
Actually, Kirit uncle, I would like to support that. I would like to learn more about the 12 Gunsthanas.
Yeah, we will do that. We will do that. I think
Okay.
the time comes up. I think 13th stanza when it comes, then we'll have to do the Gunsthanak at the time. So
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
This in 9 and 10 stanzas. Hopefully, I can finish. I don't know. What's the time? Yeah, we have 6 minutes remaining. I think we have to go a few more. I may have to take one more class probably here. But once this one is done, then 11 stanza is very important, and then 13 is that much more important. So as we said, 6th and 7 very important. Now 11th will be important. 13 will be important, and this one, I was planning to finish up today, but I don't think I can finish up today. But anyway, it's okay, no problem. As long as we understand what we are talking about. Okay. Now, convention point of view and absolute point of view. What is that one? Person who knows the whole universe is known as conventional Sruta Kevali. Sruta Kevali means the knowledge. Knowledge, what's the knowledge over it? I know the whole universe. I know the whole universe right now. So I'm being called Vyavahar Sruta Kevali or conventional Sruta Kevali.
Here, Uncle, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when Gurudev Kanji Swami was in self-experience, when he's in Anubhav,
Yeah.
he was a Dravya Shrut. Now here's my question.
No.
When he was not,
Basu.
I'm sorry, excuse me, he was a Bhava Shrut. Now here's my question.
Yes.
When he was not in experience,
Yeah.
was he a Vyavar Dravya Shrut?
No, then he's called, Vyavahar Sruta Kevali then, yes. Because he knows the whole universe. Now, see, this is little tricky thing, the play of words. What is the difference between Gurudev knowing the whole universe on a 4th Gunsthana, and what's the difference between him and Omniscient Lord knowing the whole universe? Right? There's a difference between those two. Because if there's no difference, then Gurudev is on a 13 Gunsthana, or he could be as a Siddha Bhagwan too, right? So whole universe, in the sense, let's say that we are sitting right now in the class and we all get Samyak Darshan right now. We have the self-experiencing of the soul occurred. And then we came out of the self-experience. Now I know the whole universe. How do I know it? Everything of this universe, this phone, this pen, this book, all those things are separate from me. they are not my part. So I know the whole, because they are not belonging to me. That kind of understanding he has it. And omniscient Lord, he can see the whole universe with the past, present, and future modes of each and every substance of the universe in a given moment, given samay. So between those two, Samyakdarshi Jeev and an omniscient Lord, the difference between they both know the whole universe. This guy says, whole universe, I don't care what it is, it doesn't belong to me. And this one actually reflecting or having the illumination in his knowledge more, whole universe get illuminated. So there is a difference with the knowledge aspect, but the faith aspect point of view, they both know that I am the soul substance, I'm eternal soul substance, everything else is separate from me.
No, that's not my question. Here's my question.
Can I just ask, I want to, you just go in reverse. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You said that one is one that illuminates and knows everything. The other one doesn't care about everything.
He doesn't care in the sense,
So which is which? Just label them.
Okay, because his knowledge is not that purified yet. And that's why he says, okay, I know universe is there, all the universal substances are there, everything, I'm separate from them as a whole.
So that's number 4.
That's number 4 spiritual development stage.
Okay.
And 13, he has such a sharp knowledge, completely pure, omniscient knowledge, that everything reflects or illuminates in his knowledge mode and says, this doesn't belong to me.
So it's like a reflection at that point, because you don't care about it.
You don't care about it, even though it's there, you don't care about it. And the
okay.
Sthana, he does not have clarity completely, but he knows that as a whole, everything is separate from me.
Okay, but can't you just say that, you know, the Kevali has Mati, Shut, Avdi, Manap, they have everything, whereas Samyakdarshi can only have Mati and Shut?
Yeah, well, you know, Kevali doesn't have Mati, Shut, Avdi, Manapariya. No, Kevali has Keval. The Keval, like Mati Sudgnan, for example, there is a sun right now and the cloud comes and the light is, sunlight is there, but it's kind of a not direct sunlight. And that is called Mati Sud Avdi Manapariya. But Keval Gland is a sun shining, like the Arizona sun shining, and there are no clouds in the sky at all, completely. So it's an absolute shining of the knowledge. So Mati Srut are not part of that one at all, because they are divisional aspect of knowledge. This is indivisible knowledge, you know.
Okay, Kerala, I want to go back to my initial question. So let's say Gurudev Kanji Swami is in self-experience, is in Atmanubhav, and is a Bhav Shrut Kevali at that for that Samay. Okay. But let's say for the next Samay, for Samay 2, 3, and 4, Gurudev Kanji Swami is not in Atmanubhav. Does he for Samay 2, 3, and 4, is he now a Dravya Shrut Kevali?
Yeah, he's a Vyavhar Shrut Kevali.
But is he a Dravya Shrut Kevali?
Dravya Shrut, you can say Dravya Shrut Kevali, or you can say Vyavhar Shrut Kevali, because Dravya Shrut means now he knows in his knowledge that everything's separate from me. So even though he's eating, he's talking, he's walking, but he has total detachment from within. For example, let's say that a person has an extreme fond of sweet to eat, and now he has a cancer, and he has been told that he has incurable cancer, he's not going to live. Now he's given all the sweets. How much affinity he has for that sweet right now? Nothing. He just sees it, but nothing. Previously, thinking about sweet, his mouth was watering. And now nothing happens to him because he's totally watching that one, but doesn't get involved with that at all. Same way, Gurudev Sri is watching the whole universe in general, but then he doesn't get involved with that. Does it make sense?
Yes. So he's uninvolved even when he's
totally detached.
He's detached. So then here's my question. So when he's Dravya Shrut Kevali and is totally detached, that's Vairagya, correct?
Yeah.
That's Vairagya.
Vairagya. And Vitragta will come on the 12th Gunstana.
No, but you said that there's some sort of vitrakta during the actual Atmanubhav.
Experiencing phase. Because remember, experiencing phase we are talking. Experiencing phase in which my undivided attention is to the eternal soul substance. And at that time, the knowledge, faith, and conduct, all those attributes are in the indivisible pattern, are experienced by the person.
Okay.
And
So
that's
forgive
right.
me, just to make this clear in my mind. So during Samay number 1, when Gurudev Kanji Swami is on the 4th Gunstan, and he's in Atmanubhav, he's experiencing Vitrag Dasa.
Yes.
Then in Samay 2, 3, and 4, let's say he's not in Atmanubhav, then he's no longer a Bhav Sukeli, he is now Dravya Sukeli, a Vyavar Sukeli, and he is no longer Vitrag, he is experiencing Vairag.
This is called Vairagya. Now, I mean, as long as we have gone through the point, I'll just go through it. And I think if some people don't get it, don't worry about it. Somewhere on the line we'll do it. When a person is on a 4th Gunstanak or 5th Gunstanak, when he is experiencing phase we are talking, at that time, there are also Pratyakhani, Apratyakhani, Sanjwalam Kashai, and 9 no Kashai are still present. But they are at such a subclinical level that that person in the experiencing phase cannot grab those things because it's extremely diminuting capacity at the time. So it is beyond his intellect to catch those things. So what he's doing, he's simply experiencing the eternal soul substance. Even though under the radar, some of the other activities are still going on. And that's why his experiencing phase is same as a Kevali Bhagwan and Siddha Bhagwan. Only thing, Kevali and Siddha Bhagwan does not have underlying subclinical karmic process going on, We will talk a little more about it. Don't worry about it. I think these are, I mean, just to have the thought in somebody's mind itself says it's that you are digesting all these things so gratefully. And that's why this question, the real questions coming out, and that's a great thing. And I'm so proud of it. I wish we had more time to go for it, but we will just do it next time again, If there's any more questions, let me finish this slide quickly. I think we are already 4 minutes up, but I'll just quickly finish, and then we'll have to go through the same slide again. So person who knows whole universe is known as conventional Sruti Kevali. Person who knows the eternal true nature of the self completely is known as absolute Sruti Kevali. Knowing everything is conventional form. Knowing the self is absolute form. So both the things are happening here. I'm experiencing myself, and when I come out, I'm also experiencing the world. So when I'm listening, when I'm experiencing world, they are Vyavahar Sruti Kevali. When I'm experiencing my own self, it's called Nischay Sruti Kevali. It is happening in the same person. So knowing everything is conventional form, knowing self is absolute form. Why it's absolute form? Knowing the self, because self means eternal soul substance and my mode are one and the same, and they are indivisible pattern. That's why it's absolute form. When I'm knowing the worldly objects are here, they just get illuminated in my knowledge, and I know that knowledge mode. So these two are separate, and that's why it's called conventional form. We need to talk more about this one, but I think I just want to complete this slide right now. Okay. Any other questions so far? If not, then next week I had to go out with my family. We'll be out going to Hawaii and everything, and then I think as soon as we come back, Rakesh Bhai is coming to town here in Phoenix, and most likely I think he may stay at our place. And after that, we'll be going to Alaska and everything. So I'm coming back on July 4th. So some schedule got changed. That's why I said we'll just take the class today, because I also was getting rusty, not doing any work for 2 weeks, spiritual work. So
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you very much.
thank you very much. We'll just do the closing, okay? Javani ke gyan se suje loka lok, sovani mastak namo sada det hundo. Noba Namokam, 9-10 Namokamantra. Jai Jinendra. Thanks.
ઠીક છે આવતીકાલે સ્વાધ્યાય છે
હા આવતીકાલે છે આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં લઈશું આમાં પેલે 50 છે ને એમાં બહુ સરસ ટોપિક છે આપણે 6 કારકનું છે કર્મ કરણ સંપ્રદાન અપાદાન અધિકરણનું તો
તમે મને ઇન્ફોર્મેશન મોકલશો કારણ કે હવે હું અત્યાર સુધી જોઈન નહોતી થતી
નો I'll send it out. Okay, yeah,
મેં તમને ઈમેલ કર્યું છે હા
yeah, no problem, huh? Okay, thanks, Ben. Jai Jinendra. Bye.
Thank you, Kirit uncle.
Thanks, Ben.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.